Hello, welcome to Gameolio 67. I'm Dan, here I am, and we're playing games. Gamers that play games and talk games, and that's what we do. We're here. Gameolio, yep, bang. And, yes, Haven, hello.
Yep, hello. How are you?
Good.
What's
How
up?
are you?
I'm not too bad.
Not too bad, yep.
Jump off first, so it's good.
What?
Yep.
Oops, it was supposed to be ladies first, wasn't it? Ai-Phuong, how's it going?
Hi.
Hey.
I'm good.
How you going?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Still playing games.
Still playing games. It's still happening. Still works. The games work. And the buttons are pressed. And fun is hopefully had. And not so much raging at teammates when they don't perform actions that they're supposed to perform, such as tanking or healing. But you wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Because you don't play those type of games, do you? No.
I do.
Okay, well, look, let's start with that, because I think this could be like a bit of an intervention as well, Haven. So,
Really?
Yeah, well, it could be.
okay.
It took up the whole episode, actually, so we'll see how that goes. All right, Ai-Phuong, what? I mean, you've talked about this game in the past, I believe,
Yes.
and but it's come around again, perhaps, with more ferocity, and you're right in the thick of it. What game? What are we talking about? Let's give us the deal.
Actually, I think it's called Tera Rising now because it's
Tera
when it went free
Rising.
to play.
I
Changed
see what they
Tera.
did there. Yes.
Yeah.
And okay, I know you're just barely containing yourself because of how excited you are to tell us about this. But yep, go ahead, go for it.
Okay.
Let us know.
Well, I don't
Lay it
know.
on
It's just an action MMO. The first time I played it was just with my boyfriend and like my best friend, and it wasn't very. Yes, it was fun for a bit, and then we're just kind of like, and then stopped around level 20 or 25, I think.
Yeah.
But then when it went free to play, months and months and months later, we decided we'd have another go of it, and we tried to stick to getting to max level, which is level 60, and then along the way we fell into a really good guild. And now, like, I don't know, got really stuck into it, especially when we hit level 60 and started doing end game stuff.
Okay.
So
If you
that's
didn't get
what-
into that guild, do you think you would have continued playing along?
I don't think so. It's actually starting
Yeah.
to slow down now. So I've done most of the stuff that you can do. I'm starting to play other games with people in the guild rather than just playing Terra. So, but the game itself is pretty fun for a decent while. So I've been playing for like maybe 2 months, maybe a bit
Okay.
longer than 2 months.
Righto.
Mm.
Right. Right. I'm sure there's more to it than that. There's this.
Yeah,
What
I thought
about?
it
Okay.
was an intervention.
Do you
Let's
have any questions? Like, I don't
Ai-Phuong,
really know how
tell
to.
us about the raiding. What is that
Well,
like?
it's kind of like, well, they just added a new raid, but I'll get to that later because I actually haven't done it yet. Because you can only do it once a day, and since everyone keeps doing it, and I'm in Australia, and everyone else is, and I'm on an American server, there aren't other people to do it with.
Right.
I like it's called Killsake's Nest raid, I think, but we haven't done it yet.
Okay. All right. So how many raids are there in total, like, that you can...
There is this one thing at the end, when you hit 60. Well, when you hit 59, you can do it, but you die really easily. So 60
Okay.
is better.
Yep.
It's called Nexus. So what happens is you go to this area when you're about 58 to 60, and at a specific time in the day, these portals open, and you just have to run from portal to portal, closing it down, like fighting waves of enemies. That's pretty much it. And then you shut the portal down, and then you get like reputation for an area. And each portal, only 120 people can get the quest for that portal. And then once 120 people get it, it locks. So during really busy times, like on the weekends, it locks pretty fast, and maybe you can get like 1 or 2 portals for your character.
Okay.
And then after you finish that phase, it goes into the Nexus Traverse stage, which is pretty much just clearing out a room and then fighting a boss at the end. It's not hard at all. Nexus itself is not hard, but
Right.
there are end game instances which are extremely hard. So you have normal modes and hard modes of doing stuff, and it's just it's crazy how easy the normal mode is and then how hard it gets in hard mode.
So how many players take to go into these hard modes?
It's only 5. So
Oh,
because it's a
right.
normal instance, this is just max 5 people. But for the raids, you can have max 20 people, I think. But
Okay.
Nexus has a minimum of 7, so you could go with 7 people if you wanted to.
Right, right. And
Mm.
would it scale up or scale down? Like, so if I went in with 10, would it be would the boss have the exact same health pool as if I went in there with a 20?
Yeah,
Or
it'd be
is it
exactly,
scaled down so that
it'd
it's
be exactly
actually...
the same.
Oh, okay,
It's
right.
not difficult at all.
Oh,
Oh, I mean for
okay.
Nexus, but the other ones, it's exactly the same. So
Okay, right, right, right. Okay. So I did try playing a little bit.
yeah.
I loaded into it and I had a little look around and it was like a 25 gigabyte. 25 gigabyte, I think it was, about that. So, which is about normal for all these sort of large MMOs. I think World of Warcraft's about the same, and Star Wars, the Old Republic, about the same there too. And anyway, so yeah, I got in. It's nice. It looks nice. The music was okay. It was pretty cool. And
Mm.
I was sort of playing through a couple quests there, and I was playing as a lancer. It was the closest thing I could find to a tanky looking dude. And I was hitting things, and well, to be honest, it was kind of, to me, it's like, well, I've done this before.
Yeah.
It's World of Warcraft. I've done it. Like, but that's not just this MMO. It's like all MMOs. They're all the same.
Yeah.
Like, after a while, they're just kind of like, okay, well, this is the thing where I got to kill the guy, and then I got to collect the thing, and then I got to do this and twirl this around my head, and blah blah blah. But just to explore the world, I'd like to do that a little bit more. Can you fly? Is there a flying mount Slater, or
There's
are
no
you?
flying mount, but you can fly from city to city. So I don't know what level you are now, but at level 11, you have to fly to the main big city or the first big city that you go to, which is
Yeah.
Velica. So you get on a Pegasus and you go there. But
Okay.
mm.
I think I may have just been up to that. I can't remember if it's this game or Guild Wars 2. There's one of them where I got to a big city. So I might be, maybe it was Guild Wars 2. I don't know. But that's good. Okay, cool. Right. So it's still got you in there though, yeah? Like
Kind of.
you really, 2 months in, you're like, you want to keep
Well, I
going?
have
Or?
2 characters that are max level, but one is geared a lot better than the other. There is just so much to. It's like you do all this stuff up to level 60, and suddenly all this stuff just hits you right in the face. Like
Yeah.
as soon as you hit 60, you gotta be well geared, otherwise people kick you out of instances. You gotta learn how to do instances because a lot of mechanics come into it. Um, Everyone has to know what they're doing by that time. If you're not doing enough damage, people kick you. If you're not
Yeah.
healing properly, people kick you. You know, I guess that's like any MMO.
Pretty
But I
much, yeah.
mean, oh gosh, like they have this system where Tera really, really loves the whole RNG thing. Like everything is randomized, right? Um, you can enchant you can get enchantable gear, right? And then you can get which goes from 1 to 9 normally, but then you can masterwork really good pieces of gear so it goes from 1 to 12. But
Hmm.
it's pretty much a randomized thing, so you only get I think 3%, maybe 1% chance to masterwork your item,
Okay.
and it costs a lot of gold to
Uh,
try. So
oh.
once you
Oh,
masterwork
right.
something, it's like, oh, cry tears of joy. But then you have to get from +1 to +12, which is also
Yeah.
randomized and costs
Oh,
a lot of money because it costs like you need item fodder and then you need an item called Alkahest, but you need the amount of Alkahest you need is whatever tier equipment you're chanting. So it's 14 for every try for the highest level of equipment, and it just costs so much money. So much
okay.
money.
All right. That's
It's really dumb.
interesting. Yes, interesting. There was a similar mechanic in a game I used to play called Neocron. You'd construct weapons, and you had a chance of getting slotted weapons, so you can add sort of mods in there. And you'd have to construct like 10 or so before you get a decent sort of weapon with enough slots. But and you'd sort of look down all the ones that only have single slots and 2 slots, but they all cost so much to create,
Mm.
So yeah. Whereas World of Warcraft, you just press the button. As long as you got the materials, you press the button, you're going to get that. And so, okay. So all the top tier raiders, I guess they would all have the highest of the
Well,
enchant stats, or do they
um,
just not bother?
to have decent gear, you should have masterwork stats of something that's a little bit easy to get, but
Right.
there's equipment that you get from a really hard instance that only drops in that instance, and each piece goes for about, well, it was 15,000 for each piece that I saw last time, but I think it's about 20 now because they had some like a weekend where it was like double loot drops, so that dropped a lot
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all the equipment became cheap, but yeah. Um, there's some equipment people just buy. There's also like another thing that's about 80 per piece, or maybe a little bit less, 60 per piece, 60,000 gold. A lot of money.
Yeah.
So, if you want to be super hardcore, you can do those like instances, but they're really hard to do.
Yeah.
And maybe that piece of equipment for your class will drop, possibly. Like
Yeah.
there's just lots of things in Terra Endgame that is like gambling.
Yeah. Well, it
It's
sounds
just
worse.
gambling.
It sounds like there's the RNG on the RNG.
Yeah, it is. It
It's just,
definitely is, and it hurts. Like you get
yeah,
so dejected sometimes.
yeah. See, I'm getting it's bad enough with the just the RNG in World of Warcraft, and then when I go through the looking for raid system, which is just randomized players in a raid, and the version of the raid is much easier than the normal version, but you have a chance to get loot at the end. Everybody has chance to get loot. It's not like before where the boss drops loot and you'll just hopefully one piece drop for you. If not, a drop for someone else. No, it's all randomized. So you all could just walk away with nothing, or you could walk away with something. But more often than not, it's always walking away with nothing.
Yeah.
And I think I've gone 2 or 3 weeks just getting nothing, absolutely nothing. You get a bonus roll as well now. Use that, get nothing, get gold. And it's not even that much gold. It's like 20 gold, which in World of Warcraft is bugger all. You get more doing a daily quest, which take you 5 seconds to do.
Oh, I
So
hate Phaley so much.
yeah, yep.
So
You hate
much.
you hate daily quests.
Um,
Oh,
yeah, so
you
there is this thing where you
you.
can get slotted accessories where you
All
put
right.
crystals in and you kind of really need them end game because they
Yeah.
just give you that little bit of boost. And the best ones either cost a lot of money, like if you could be bothered spending like 6K per piece, you
Yeah.
can spend it, but otherwise you got to do Pathfinder pace dailies and they are the worst
Yeah.
dailies ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just no,
You would
no more
not
dailies.
like to have played World of Warcraft, the Mists of Pandaria, because pretty much this expansion is dailies, dailies, and then more dailies, and then more dailies. It was ridiculous. And why was it doing these dailies? To get this loot at the end, which by the time I got there, I didn't need anymore because I got it from looking for raid. But I was midway through doing it, so I keep doing it. Oh, it was just ridiculous. It was the worst thing. It was just like you do dailies in this section. Oh, you got to go and do dailies for this guy because he'll give you some of this, and then you got to do dailies for them because I'll give you some of that. Oh, guess what? You just open up more dailies by doing dailies for that guy, which is all the way over there. And so yeah, that's the
You.
one thing I really detest is just that the you needing to do these dailies in order to raid, and I know. I
Hate
know, I
dailies.
know, I know. If they could at least make it interesting, but it's always
Yeah.
like, go over there, kill that guy. Now he's dead. Come back tomorrow. Oh, the guy's somehow alive again. Go kill him again. Oh, okay. I've done this now for a month. The guy's pretty much dead, or he's got some crazy power that resurrects himself every day when the clock restarts. So it's just, yes. But we're not talking about World of Warcraft, we're talking about Terra. Yes. Okay, cool. So, but you're still having fun. You reckon maybe another month or so? You might just
Yeah, maybe a
go a
little
bit more
bit longer.
casual. Yes.
I
Okay.
want to be able to do that, the new raid that had just come
Yeah.
out a few days ago, maybe a
Yep.
week ago, I can't remember. But they brought it out as like Terra Anniversary
Okay.
something.
Okay.
So the 10-man one is easy and the 20-man one is a little bit harder, but you can only do it once a day.
Right.
And it drops some really good loot where, you know how I was telling you the masterwork thing is about 1%?
Yep.
It's always 3% now, chance to masterwork, which
Huh.
is doesn't seem like much, but it is a huge boost to people who have spent like 200 tries or 300 tries and still hasn't masterworked.
Right.
So, yeah, I just want to be able to try that. I think it's just a harder version of a boss you can already fight in another instance, which is interesting. It's an interesting boss where if you don't know how to use a mechanic, like if you don't know how to exploit the mechanics, you will, or you don't learn the mechanics, you will die in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, WoW has a little thing going at the same right now called the Brawlers Guild, which has like just it's pretty much just boss fights. But the mechanic here is that if you don't learn the pattern and perform that pattern, that's it. You're dead pretty much one
oh,
shot. Yeah, there's no I may be able to just take some of this damage. It's pretty much yeah, you didn't press the button at the right time, so you're dead
oh.
because I'm a cat and my claws hurt. Wow. Anyway, that's how that goes. Yes. Okay, cool. But it's good that you found a guild and there's people in there and you're playing other games with them. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to branch out. I know, I guess doing the best part of Terra is just doing the instances and fighting BAMs and bosses, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Everything else is just kind of like I guess it's kind of like, well, you just keep killing X amount of things or
Yeah.
gather this, but like
hmm
the fights in the instances themselves is just super fun,
Yeah. Yep.
you know?
Yep.
I
I'll be
guess
raiding
actually
after this, and it's about the only thing I do every week now. I just do my once a week raid with this group, and that's about all. I've done everything else at the moment, so it's just like yeah, it's fun to log in and just muck around with the other 9 people and hopefully beat up some bosses. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Cool. Ai-Phuong, was there anything else that you had been doing,
Um,
or was
I
that one?
finished Heart of the Swarm. I finished Fire Emblem Awakening.
Aha! Heart of Swarm.
Yeah.
So, were you impressed by the ending? That
I
you will not spoil because I haven't even played it.
um cool
Because I remember you
story.
weren't. I remember you were a bit down on the first one. So the StarCraft 2, the ending there.
I,
So does this redeem it
I can't
somewhat?
even remember what I thought about the first one. I know the ending was kind of abrupt, and I know that I was upset that Tychus Finley died because he was my favorite
Yes.
character.
Hmm.
Um,
Spoiler.
the
Oh,
ending of the second one is
it's.
kind of rushed,
Hmm.
but it really is a precursor to what's going to happen at the end at the next game, which is the Protoss one, which I can't remember what it's called. Um, I thought it was pretty good. There were some moments where I felt really like emotionally attached to people, so that was good.
Right.
Um, Otherwise it was okay. I don't know, the campaign levels itself seemed a lot easier than any other like thing that I've ever done in StarCraft. It's not the whole build a base RTS kind of thing. It kind of felt like
Uh,
you had a lot of gimmicky
it's
maps.
the variety show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know what they were trying to do there, but I kind of missed being able to just build bases and beat the crap out of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing that got me about StarCraft. I mean, like, I didn't mind some here, like the zombie attack, pretty or that zombie type attack that they had. I didn't mind it, but I was like, it's cool, but just don't make this like the norm where you're just going to change it up on me all the time. I like the idea of building a base. Yeah, throw some different elements into it, different terrain and all that sort of thing, but. The escort missions and it's an
Well, if
RTS. You're supposed to be getting me, excited to play multiplayer, but I can't use these skills in the multiplayer at all, and I'm terrible at
yeah,
multiplayer as a result. There's just no correlation.
that's the
Um,
thing. Like, I started playing online, or just against bots, because I'm not good yet. But I
yeah,
started playing online. I was trying to play Zerg because I was playing Zerg in the campaign, and it's completely different. I was just like, hang on, I can't use this. I can't use this. Okay, this does
yeah,
this. I have to do this.
yeah,
So they're different.
yeah.
So if you want to jump on online stuff, just ignore the campaign and do online stuff. If you want to play
hmm
the campaign for story, go play campaign for story, but you're not going to learn how to use Zerg from
No,
that.
it's kind of like Battlefield 3 in the same way that you play through the single player. It's got you learn nothing about how to play the game. You learn nothing about strapping C4 onto a Jeep and driving it into like 5 tanks. That's not there. It doesn't exist. And certainly there's a jet level, and that would be perfect place to give you a bit of training, but you get none. So as a result, you jump into Battlefield 3 multiplayer and you nosedive before you even take off. If that's even possible, it is. Apparently, because I did it several times, and they need to. It needs to be a stronger link. I think Battlefield 4 is trying to do that, so we'll see. We'll see. Yes. Haven,
Yes. Yeah,
how's it going, buddy?
I'm good. I'm
Let me
listening
guess. Let me
to your
guess.
great
Let me
experience.
just take a bloody guess here. I've been playing Disgaea 3 and White Knight Chronicles. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right?
But this guy tree is still going.
That thing will never end, will it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to beat that level 1200 boss.
Oh my god. You go,
So
okay.
party at the moment is level 800. So I'm trying
Jeez, you getting there?
just not level them up, but level the equipment up so that they can endure the attacks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, still working on that level 1200 boss
Right.
at Gaia
You got to
3.
keep us updated on that guy because I want to
Huh?
know. I
Yeah.
want to know when he drops.
Yeah. I will
Yep.
let you know when he drops.
Okay, and what he drops. More importantly, jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm now in the post game of Tales of Grace's F. So I'm
Okay.
now
Yeah.
in the future arc of that game, but I think I'm almost finishing with that. I'm just trying to level up and do quite a bit of things for some trophies.
Okay.
Yeah, so at the moment it's just like at night I put it on, I'm doing other things, I put it on auto so they would just fight battles and then level up. Because I found an area that is really good for them to level up.
Okay.
Because what I want to do is to level up the alchemy pot
Hmm.
to level 9999. I'm still quite far from it. I just went over level 2000.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's because you get a trophy out of that, of course. Otherwise, I would not be doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So damn trophies and achievements and
Yeah.
I kind of wish they never existed. Like they never came into
Yeah, that's
play.
true. Yeah, in
Because
the
as much
past
as
it's
I
just
wanted them in World of Warcraft,
yeah.
after well, at about 10,000 achievement points, and then the new ones coming in, there's like 20,000. All of a sudden, I was like, I don't know if I really need to be hitting this duck while jumping in the air and bouncing on this thing 5 times. I don't know if that's making my life any better, but
Yeah.
it does because 10G or something pops up and I get excited. But it shouldn't. It's stupid. I don't know. They
Yeah.
should. I wish they could get rid of it,
Yeah, I
altogether.
think like introducing trophies is kind of good and bad. Good is like you give you some incentive to continue to play, but bad is like some of the trophies are just ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, it's like, okay, in the past, you'd play your Nintendo game, your Sega game, whatever, right? You play that game, you finish it, you could put it down and feel, satisfied. It's done, it's
Yeah.
completed, it's finished,
Yeah.
If there was an achievement rating on that thing, achievement score on that, you'd probably be finished with maybe 100 out of 1,000 points, and it'd irk you to hell, and you'd keep going back and trying to do the harder modes and the one where you bounce the ball off the wall and you knock it with your head and then you eat an egg and you cook the
Yeah.
pancakes, like something like that, and it's like, okay, on one hand, it gives me the replayability and it's like I want to do something, but do I really need to? This thing is holding me back from playing Mass Effect 3 or whatever it is that's next, So,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I might to a point that I got so bored that I would just finish the game.
yeah,
Yeah,
yep,
because yeah, some of them it's just kind of you really need a lot of effort. I mean, the whole alchemy port thing really requires a lot of effort.
okay,
Yeah, because like it only level up when you actually successfully make something.
right,
And if you
right,
want to successfully make something, you have to put something. So at the moment, I put something that actually is easy to make, but it give you a lot of experience point. Like, but then that thing, if you want to make it, you have to have, like what they call the elf, which is kind of mana, kind of energy. It's like after the battle, you have to have above half of that in your alchemy port. So for example, if you have to your current mana limit is 2000 or elf minute limit is 2000, you have to have at least 1000 or above for that thing to actually happen.
okay,
But then when it happens, it takes out like 100 something. So after a while, it that depletes.
yep,
So at the moment, I'm at the point that I'm just fighting enemies at a high level and give you a lot of XP, and at the same time, it drops high level things. So because what happened is I have an equipment that if the loot that the enemy drops, you already have it, it can convert that back into the alchemy port as energy.
oh, right, oh, well, that's handy,
Yeah, so I'm just doing that like like I think I've been doing that for 5 days 5 nights in a row.
Yep, you
It's
are
just
committed.
still over 2,000.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think there might be a point I will just tell myself I think I've enough of this silliness and go on and finish it.
Yeah, yeah. Just end it. End the
Yeah,
nightmare and move on to
yeah.
something else in the sky, maybe. Oh, not in the sky.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
the rim of the
Maybe at
sky.
the rim of
What?
the sky, maybe.
What have you been doing? What's that? What's that all about? What are you alluding to? What's going
Well, I've started my second try for Skyrim.
on?
Yeah, the first try was not a very successful one
Hmm.
because I just didn't know what I was doing, and I think quite far into the like not really quite far, like into the second or third mission, I was still level 1, and I have no idea why.
Ah,
It's
right.
yeah,
Is that
so
because of the whole first person thing?
oh no, I
No?
changed it to third person.
Ah, right, right,
It's
right.
just that I
Okay.
didn't know exactly what I was doing.
Ah,
So I
right.
was
Yep.
just going from one. So you start off with a quest. You just follow the main quest one point to another point to another point.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
was just doing that, and then by the time I think I reach the third quest from the main quest, I was still level 1,
Oh, right. Yeah.
and I have no idea why he's not leveling up after I finish all those quests.
Yeah.
But then so I and then by that time it's kind of like I kind of got bored with it, and because I think there was a point that whenever I get out of the city, there are a band of bandits
You just get
attacking
smashed.
me. So actually
Yeah.
I can't even get out of the city to go to the next
They
spot.
gotcha. They
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah.
So by that time I was just too frustrated as I stopped.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
And then I think that was 6 months ago now. And then
Wow.
people keep on telling me, "Oh, give it another go, give it another try. All you need to do is to make sure that you like do all the other things, like leveling up your like blacksmithing and all those kind of stuff." So while I'm auto leveling up this Tales of Graces F, I thought, oh, just put that on and try it again. If I don't like it, I at least I give it another go.
Yeah, yeah.
So from then, that's when I thought, well, if I actually want to persist to actually try this seriously, I'll just start an online diary about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I have something that am responsible for. So that's how I started it, and then because I think with the last round experience and with the information Pierre gave me, I know better what I'm doing this time around.
Yeah.
So I kind of actually enjoy it a lot more now
Yeah,
as
it's good.
compared to the first time.
So you're at a point where you could go and do a little bit of exploring, yeah? Like and not get mauled by beasts or anything as soon as you left the
Exactly.
sanctity of a yeah, that's the thing I've always wanted to do. I did follow the main quest and just blow through the entire thing because there were other games at the time that I wanted to get onto. But it's one of my biggest regrets is that I had other games that I had to go onto, rather than
Yeah.
not spending time just going, you know what, the quest is telling me to go north, but what happens if I go west? Well, there's a wall and I can't really go past the wall. But what happens if I go east? Oh, there's a big mountain and I can climb up this mountain and there just happens to be something up there,
Yeah.
which I did once and there was a big dragon up there. I was like, there's a big dragon up here. It killed me. But I could go there, and it was like
Yeah.
a massive journey just to get to that dragon. I was like, okay, so I can't be here just yet. But anyway, the idea of exploring places and in the main quest, that part never happened. Like I never had to go there. It was just there. So, and the land is pretty damn big. And I probably have only seen, I'd say 20% of it, maybe 25 that you needed to get through through the entire game or the main quest.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a stack of there's things I haven't even seen. I once went roaming around towards the end, and I saw a giant
Mm-hmm.
fighting I don't even know, it was a mammoth or something. I don't know. It was something like, it was just colossal. And I was watching it going, I will get stomped because I've never seen you before. And
Yeah.
all right, let's see how this goes. And I died straight away. But it's like, it's there. And there was no reason for me to go there, but it was there and never saw the main quest. So, yes,
Yeah, so I got killed by mammoths too.
Ah, okay. So they do exist, right?
Yeah, they do exist.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I saw two mammals. I was just thinking, oh well, the first time I saw a mammoth, the mammoth was attacked by wolves. So I thought I would just go and have the mammoth. And then basically the mammoth is very indifferent about who is around, just kill me.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Protecting its babies or its
Yeah, so then
tusks,
the
or I
next
don't know.
time when I saw the mammoth, I thought I would just leave it alone. And I
Yeah.
tried to walk past it, but then two
It
of them
saw ya.
came rushing towards me.
Yeah. Did it go
So it
red?
killed me instantly
Did it go
again.
red? And steam
And
was
then I
coming out of its
decided
ears
that,
and
well,
everything?
okay, if you're going to kill me anyway, I will just find a way to kill you. So I just went up to the rocks because
Yeah.
the mammals cannot actually climb onto the rocks. So I just went up to the rocks with my companion, and then we just used like bows and arrows to kill it.
Ah, okay. Yes. Yes, yes,
Yeah, and
yes.
when it fell,
You'll get an interesting ability later on, which you may find useful for that too.
oh,
Yes.
yeah. So I was quite pleased with myself when I actually kill it. There's a sense of satisfaction out of that.
Yeah.
I kill it.
Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, but I'm gonna still die a lot in this game. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
because sometimes some of the areas, the levels are just too high for your
Mm.
character.
There is that thing where if you just take slight deviation of the path, you end up somewhere completely different. But
Yeah,
for the first moment, you think, "Oh, here I am,"
yeah,
and you know, you've gone like completely way south of the place, and yeah, you're at somewhere you shouldn't be, and you end up getting your head on a stick.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's right. So
Mm.
yeah, but I think this time I enjoyed it a lot better.
yeah,
Yeah, and
okay,
the first time around, I didn't know that you can get a companion.
yeah. Oh, right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
There you
now
go.
actually I have a companion,
Yeah,
so it's a lot easier.
yeah. And are you just loading her up with all your gear, pretty
Yeah,
much? Yeah.
and someone gave me a tip that if you now have a companion, you can actually use the companion to carry your load.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's what I'm doing now.
yeah. I think
Yes.
if I were to play it again, I would put a cheat in so I could have unlimited weight, because
Ah,
that used to annoy me. The management, like I know it's an RPG thing, but it's like after a while when you're in the middle of nowhere and you just happen to pick up something that's very valuable. It's like, oh, I gotta go through the inventory now and I gotta sort through it and what I don't want. I don't want these two eggs and I
yeah,
don't want this stick and yeah, it's a bit of that, but.
yeah. So yes, at the moment I'm doing okay. I think in Skyrim.
Yep.
And yeah, as you might notice, I have updated. I think I've survived 10 days in Skyrim now.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
So
You're getting there.
yeah, but just to wonder why is it the nighttime in Skyrim so much longer than daytime?
God, I wouldn't have a clue. I didn't even
Because it's
notice that.
cold. It's
It's
cold in
always
that area, I think.
nighttime.
Yeah, that
Kind of makes sense.
sounds valid. Um, being that you're in
Yeah,
the sky rim. I guess you're in
yeah.
the equivalent
So
of Iceland or Norway or something like that.
and because of Skyrim, I actually I started playing Reckoning again.
Oh no, hang on, that'd be the opposite, wouldn't it? Yeah, it'd be broad daylight for a long time. So anyway, forget what I said. I've had some wine today.
Yeah, I said that is because of Skyrim. I started playing Reckoning again.
Ah,
Yeah, so it was Reckoning was a lot of it's good, but at the same time, it's a lot of like fetching kind of missions
yeah,
and stuff. So
yep,
might not be as interesting as the missions and as the quest in Skyrim, but still
yeah.
pretty good.
But you've finished Reckoning, haven't you? Like you've,
I haven't finished the main quest. I haven't
yeah.
finished the main quest completely. I finished the both DLCs,
Okay, yep,
and for the main quest, I think I went through half of it,
right,
and then
right.
I started playing the DLC, and then after the DLC, I finished the DLC. So okay, forgot about the main quest,
Yep, yep.
and then I moved on to something else.
Yep.
So I'm now
Yes.
just continuing with the main quest.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So there will be an ending eventually.
there will be an ending. So I'm
Yes.
playing several games at the same time. On my PSP, I'm playing Phantom Brave.
Right. The PS2 game.
PSP.
Oh, it's not the PS2 game. A version of the
It was
PS2
a
game.
PS2 game,
Is it the
but
same
then it
thing or is
was
it
released on
something
the
different?
Wii as like with updated stuff, and then they released it on the PSP again with additional stuff.
Oh, so but it is the same game that's on PS2, just like
Yeah,
bolstered up and yeah.
with
Okay.
like basically it's a PS2 game with additional DLC stuff.
Right.
Yeah, but they don't call it DLC. They call it package additional materials.
Ah, of course. Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I was playing on my PSP.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's about it. So,
Okay.
I mean, if you guys are interested in what's happening with me on Skyrim, just stay tuned for the diary itself.
There's a blog. Sky.
Yeah.
What's the URL?
It's Haventso, Haventso, Skyrim dot
Okay.
blogspot.com.
All right. Go through there. And
Yeah.
you'll have a. Not is it what every 10 minutes or so of gameplay? You think you update something on there?
Well, I just update
The highlights.
the highlights. Yeah.
Because you wouldn't say had to go to the loo.
Yeah.
The
I would not
lock
be
was
saying I want
broken.
10 minutes with nothing. I
Yeah.
would not say that. It's just
Okay.
when things happen, I would just put something on saying that, oh, something happened.
Okay.
So, for example, in today's gameplay, there was I don't know whether you guys have encountered that guy, but I was looking for the Shrine of Azura, and then I walked past that mine place. I got in, and then there's nothing happening inside. I went out. When I went out, there was a guy actually bump into me and saying that you have to take this greater sword of fear from me. You have to take it now, but don't ask questions. If you ask questions, I'll be very cross with you. Thank you very much, and then he went away. So suddenly I check my inventory. There's a greater sword of fear. It's in
Okay.
the inventory. I have no idea what I need to do with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay.
So that kind of stuff would go into the diary.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that's nice. I wish somebody would do that to me while I was in World of Warcraft. They go, well, you didn't get anything in LFR, but here, just take this. You have to take it. Take it now.
Yeah.
See you later. I go, okay, buddy, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Take my soul over, type of thing. All right.
That's the gaming news on my side. What about you? Are you still on World of Warcraft?
I am on World of Warcraft. Richie.
Yes.
Oh, Richie's here! Yay!
He's actually here. He's there.
I've been sitting here for I was sitting here for like 20 minutes, and then like 2 seconds before you just mentioned me, then I kicked my mic off the stand. So the reason why I wasn't talking for a second there is because I was frantically trying to put it back on the stand.
This is the type of stuff we need to capture on video. Yes. We can just make highlights. Cool, man. Hey, how's it going?
Good. It's getting cold in Sydney, and I hate it. I'm not a winter person. I hate it, and I don't like it.
I am a winter person, but this type of winter, this type of chill.
I mean, it's not even winter yet.
I know.
Still.
But it's chilly.
Don't like it.
Chilled.
Not a fan.
That's why I had the wine.
Yeah. Yes. Good idea.
So Richie of the Shire, how's it going? Like, what have you been doing? What's going on? What's cracking? I know what's cracking with you, but you can tell us what's cracking because that's what you do. Go.
Well, game-wise, I've really only played 2 games in the last 2 months, I think. One of them is BioShock Infinite, and which is what I talked about last podcast I was on.
Yes.
And it kind of feels like the least interesting game to talk about now because it's that game that everyone who's anyone played it and then decided that they needed to write a blog post or intellectualize it in forums all over the place. And it's just like everything that's been said about it can be said about it. So just kind of personally, it was my most anticipated game aside from Last Guardian, which is still, I suppose, my most anticipated game.
Yeah.
But like in the last few years, BioShock Infinite has been the game I wanted to play. And as I was talking to you about it last time, I was really into it. Like I was only a few hours into the game, but I was really, really into it. And now that I've finished, I don't know. I honestly have to say I'm disappointed in it, but not. It's I kind of feel like I have to back up everything I say with this. It's like that band Tool. So Tool are a great band. They're an awesome metal band. They're absolutely fantastic musicians. But they're a band that make people feel smart. Like you can actually intellectualize a lot of the stuff that's their music is about, and a lot of the stuff that's in the liner notes. A lot of the stuff they talk about is very psychological. A lot of stuff about Jung, all of that kind of thing, transcendental. All of that kind of stuff. So when people, if you say, not that I do, but whenever people say, oh, Tool, they're dumb, people's instant response is to go, well, you just don't understand it. And it's not like your reaction to it is any less. It's like I fully understand what's going on. Until let's put me in the position of this person. I just don't like the music. But if you insult something that makes people feel smart, they instantly get defensive. So it's become like the least interesting thing to talk about online. And so whereas last time I was raring to talk about it, this time I'm kind of like, ugh, I don't know. No one wants to hear about it really. But
yeah, you just spent about 10 minutes talking about it. But if I can just cut to the chase on that particular game, so you don't have to talk about it anymore. But you yourself, when you got to the end, did you enjoy that as a complete experience?
Here's the thing. I think I mentioned it at the time, is that it's really, really sadistically violent.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned that last time, and it's the kind of thing I talk about all the time. But what I noticed most, like playing BioShock Infinite, is that, do you remember when Manhunt came out? And that game was banned in Australia because it was so violent.
Oh, yeah.
If you watch, for the sake of killing that one.
Yeah. If you watch what was in Manhunt now, every game has that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
In Manhunt, you would, like, one of the boss kills, but you get one chainsaw, and kill the boss. Well, you can do that in Gears of War at any point by pressing a button, and you can do that if you want. You can do that to everyone in the game. And so BioShock Infinite is this thing where, in BioShock, the games was very claustrophobic. It was intentionally so. There weren't a lot of major boss encounters, like you wouldn't go into rooms and there'd be 10 splicers that you had to kill. There was one guy hiding around a corner and another guy hiding around another corner. And it was, it was like a horror game, basically. BioShock Infinite is a shooter in every sense of the word. It's exactly like Call of Duty, and it's exactly like Gears of War. You go from one encounter to another.
Yeah.
There is story happening around you. A lot of story is placed in the environment, and a lot of that is really good. Like, the story of BioShock Infinite is actually quite good, but I found the game so tedious to play. Like, I just found it boring. I had to push myself through it because it was combat bowl after combat bowl. And you had so few options. Like, you had so many of the what do they call them this time around? Not plasmids, vigors. And you can set traps with the vigors. Like, you can set fire traps. You have a vigor power, which is you can either throw fireballs or you can set a trap. And it got to the point where I would walk up to an encounter, and if the encounter didn't trigger, I knew that when I came back through that environment, that's when the big battle would occur. And so I could just set up traps because they'd stay in the environment. And then when I came back, the combat would just play itself out because they'd all trigger all of my traps and then they'd all be dead. There was never any option. I mean, there was, but it wasn't much of an option other than running straight ahead and shooting everyone. You could hide behind a pillar, pop out and shoot people. They always knew exactly where you were. You could never get the drop on people. So it just became the most rote shooter there was. On top of that, there was this layer of violence and things, which ultra violence. So all of your powers have some horrific effect on people. So it's not just throwing fire and they go and they fall to the ground, like they burn. They literally, the flesh burns off their body. They crumble into pieces. If you're using an electricity power and you kill them with it, their head explodes. It's this kind of thing. And I told you about the murder of crow's power, where you shoot and the crows peck the flesh off people. Yeah. And so I was just going through this going, okay, this is a game that has definitely put itself on a pedestal, whether intentional or not, saying this is a smart game by smart people. This isn't just your everyday shooter. And Ken Levine comes out and and I really like the writing, and I really like Ken Levine as a guy, as an artist, as a game maker, and he talks about all this really important stuff that's happening in the world. And that's true. All of that stuff is there. But that's not what you're doing in the game. 90% of the game is killing people horrifically.
Yeah.
That's what you do in BioShock Infinite. So to get through all of that, to get to the story is actually quite great. The setting is really interesting. It's a beautifully made game. But the game part of it, I really didn't like. So it was kind of this dilemma of this thing that I'd really been looking forward to. All of the things that I'd kind of been looking forward to, i.e. the story and the character, were all there. And I do think it's worth playing the game through at least once, probably on easy, just to get all of those story bits. But it was just, I just had to push myself through it, and I really wasn't ready for that. It's really quite funny. And I thought, well, this is a game that's getting 9s and 10s and perfect scores, and everyone's saying this is the game we deserve. You know, we're smart people now. We're in our 30s. We're not kids. We're playing games. And I was like, right on, great. I'm ready for this. And I started playing, and I go, is everyone used to this? Does everyone just look? The combat is so simplistic, and there's a layer of violence on top which is impossible to ignore. And so I think like everyone gave it marks because of the story, because it was doing something different. It didn't have as much to say about playing games as BioShock did. Not that it should, that the first game did. Not that it should repeat. Even though it did put in things, like it did bring things over from BioShock and sort of nudge, nudge, wink, wink, remember this. It was kind of like, well, you're either in or you're out. Like leave the past behind or bring it in. But don't be like, oh, here's a little bit of that. But yeah, so I really was I was really, really disappointed. It was, and then I went online, you know, expecting to find nothing that kind of validated my experience, you know, like I was prepared to go online and no one had the experience I did. But then I found like a couple of reviews. One of them was on Kotaku, which is about the biggest gaming website you can get a story on, about how violent the game was. And there's some amazing kind of comparative GIFs, which I recommend everyone goes and has a look if they haven't yet. But it really gets down to the bone of it. It's like this game was already fantastic up until the moment you started killing people. And then it became less so.
Oh, wow.
And that's kind of my response to it. And so there's been this split. And now you look online and people are saying, actually, this game is really, really violent, and that takes it away. And of course, the response to that is, well, all games are violent. You must suck. Go play Call of Duty.
Yeah, I hate us.
And I'm like, this game is exactly like Call of Duty. It's got a different layer underneath it. But what you were doing in Call of Duty, 90% of the time, is running from cover to cover into a combat bowl or a sniper alley, which this game has, BioShock Infinite has, and shooting everyone, then moving on. And that's all you do in BioShock Infinite. So on the surface, what you actually spend your time doing is no different. But you can't tell a lot of people that online because they get very offended because it makes them feel smart. So it's been interesting. But then, somewhat fortuitously, somewhat serendipitously, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon came out. And I chained literally from BioShock Infinite straight into Blood Dragon. Two games that couldn't be more dissimilar aesthetically. But my God, Blood Dragon is one of my favorite games ever.
Oh, really?
It's funny because going from that, a game which tried to which did intellectualize everything. Like everything had a context, everything had a reason, everything was considered. Even though in the end, I don't think it actually succeeded that much. But hi, Raph. But Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon knows exactly what it is. It's a dumb video game where you shoot people. And that's what most first-person, in fact, all first-person shooters really are. You're being some superheroic gruff guy who's been thrown into a situation which he didn't necessarily want, and now he's got to get out by killing everything and blowing everything up. And instead of trying to be ultra serious and mature with it, Blood Dragon goes the other route and goes, you're playing a dumb video game. Right, this game's set in the future with you've got a robotic arm, you're fighting dragons that shoot lasers out of their eyes. All of the troops are robots. Just go have fun. And I've been having a lot of fun with that game. Dan, you've played it as well, haven't you? Dan, are you there, or are you attending to your children? I think Dan's
Probably the
attending.
second one, yeah, children.
Okay, I'll keep talking. But so it's an open world game with remarkably few consequences for stuffing up. I don't even know where to start with this game. It's so much fun.
Yes, I'm here, and yes, I have been playing it, and yes, I'm dealing with my kids, and I've got a lot of editing to do now. Right. Sorry. Yes. Far Cry. Sorry. What was
Blood Dragon, go.
Yes, Blood Dragon. Well, look, I haven't played it as much as you have. Definitely not. But what I have played, no, I haven't finished it. I'm not even 50% of the way, I'm guessing. But yeah, it's great because it's like, well, I kind of don't really want to play Far Cry 3, but there's this little mod type thing, and it's called Blood Dragon, and it takes you all the way back to the 80s, and it's just, yeah, the music is beautiful. I've got the soundtrack, and I play the soundtrack more than I play the game at the moment. So it's like every single 80s game, every single 80s movie you can think of, there's something in there. And
It's very reminiscent.
Terminator, Lethal Weapon, Predator, it doesn't matter what it is, it's in there, and it's just brilliant to hear. The game itself, yeah, it's fun. It's certainly fun. I think I think the fact that just the color scheme is almost good enough for that to keep me going. It's just the color scheme has like nice, neon colors, and everything's red, and there's purple here and there, and the start, of course, is brilliant. Yes, if you've watched Predator, and you know the music they're playing in the helicopter, that's there, and you're in a helicopter. Because if you have the minigun this time, and you're firing like a crazy person. So, yes, it's all beautiful. Sorry, Rich, you can keep going. I'm going to go and find out what this kid's doing.
So, do you guys know what this game is?
Yeah. Is it... How much is it? It's like an expansion, right, or something?
Yeah, I bought it on Xbox Live, so I think it was like 1,200 points, which works out to like $15 or something, I think.
Cool.
$17 on Steam.
So it is not like a it's like a separate game. It's not like attached to the original one.
Yeah. Right? So they've taken the Far Cry engine, and it's kind of you know how you used to get Doom total conversion mods, where they turn Doom into aliens or something? All they do is they replace all the textures, all the characters, all the sound effects. It's that. It'd take about 5 times longer to explain the aesthetic than it would for you just to look on YouTube and you go, oh, I get it. Okay. But it's kind of like everything is in Tron. So
yeah, because I saw the
neon.
It looks like very Tron-ish.
Yeah, everything's very dark, very black, but everything has a neon light on it.
The trailer is so good.
Yeah, it's great.
The trailer's so good. I was considering getting it. So maybe.
It's what I like about it is there's not a huge amount of game there. Like the game proper is a shooter, and you have all the enemies are robots and animals. The robots are great because the voices are all vocoded, but their dialogue is kind of typical 80s guard movie dialogue. So they'll be there and you'll hear this, I ain't getting paid enough for this shit. And stuff like that. I can't believe you're getting paid more than me. It's great fun. And so Far Cry 3 took place on an island, and this does too. So you get to drive jeeps over the island. You get to use hang gliders. You get to use boats. You can swim for as long as you want underwater. There's no air meter. So it's just about having fun and causing as much havoc as possible, really. My favorite game is putting landmines in the roads where the troops are patrolling. You can do it in any order you want, but depending on the garrison, you liberate garrisons from troops, and when you liberate them, you get certain power-ups. And one of them I got was it turned all of my sniper rounds into explosive rounds.
Oh, wow.
But I got that really, really early, and it's kind of a god weapon. Like, it can take down a vehicle in one hit.
Yeah.
Which is fun, because, the troops are just doing their patrols. They don't know what's going on. All of a sudden, their jeeps explode.
Yeah.
And they freak out. And listening to robots freak out never gets old.
How cool was it when you whip out the pistol the first time? And you realize, I've seen this somewhere before.
Yeah.
I've heard this somewhere before. Yeah. There's just so many instances of that. And what was that thing? I told you on Facebook or something. I can't remember what. Oh, okay. Well, I can't say it on the podcast. But it's in the first 5-10 minutes, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I laughed out so loud. I think I woke up the kids. It was great. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what it was.
Yeah.
Was it Mark 5?
Mark 5 and the old M. Yeah.
MF.
Yeah. It was beautiful. I think.
And then a bro hand clap. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yep.
It's a game. Yeah, as I said, it's a game that knows exactly what it is, and it knows exactly what its type of video game is, and doesn't try to be pretentious.
Yeah.
Or So with Bioshock Infinite, if you took that story and took out a lot of the shooting, so it wasn't going from one combat to another, but actually doing a bit of exploration, Bioshock Infinite would have been, I think, a much more cohesive game. But as it was just a shooter that wanted to be something a bit deeper. Whereas this game is just a shooter, and that's all it wants to be. And it's like, oh, thank you. It's like the Duke Nukem Forever we should have got, kind of.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, I've kind of monologued for about 18 minutes now.
Yep.
So if someone else wants to talk,
Drink some water. The tutorial at the start, I did think it was quite funny at the start, and I was like, I just really want to get through this thing now. But it was like press space to jump. Jumping is good. That type of thing, like it was.
It kind of trolls you.
It does.
So the setup for the tutorial is that obviously you're bionic. You've been brought back from the dead, a la RoboCop, and made bionic. And one of your teammates trolls you by initiating. It's like initiate tutorial sequence, and so you have to go through the tutorial because it's been initiated for you. And it's very self-aware. It's like push to move. Walking is good or something like that.
The other thing that I was going to bring up about the only thing that Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Just go Far Cry Blood Dragon, or just call it Blood Dragon.
Yeah, it was really funny. It was. I think obviously it was for marketing and to get attention.
Yeah,
but it's very strange that it's there.
Yeah,
the name Far Cry.
Well, the fact that it has 3 on it, it could have just been Far Cry Blood Dragon. Heck. But overall, for the amount that it costs, certainly a great little distraction. I don't know how many hours I've played, but how many hours have you played, Rich?
Well, all the reviews I read said that you finish it in like 6 to 8 hours. I must be up to about 12 hours. I'm not even half done.
Jeez, yeah. So, you've probably already got more value out of it. More gameplay out of it than some Call of Duties, that have a 6 to 8 hour campaign.
Well, yeah, because you do it in the order you want. I'm a big fan of that. You can play stealth. You can completely play stealth, which I found that was not an option in Bioshock Infinite. It's good to have options. And so really you can... The good thing about this game is it is an option to just go and run and gun. You are gonna get overpowered if you just stand in the middle of troops and shoot, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you're on the move enough, you can totally take a garrison completely by force by yourself. And when you do, it's so much fun. But you can stealth. You can lure the dragons into the garrisons to do your work for you, which is lots of fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Love this game.
Fun little title. I think it was $17 on Steam. And 1,200 points on Xbox, was it?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
12, 16, something like that.
So worth it. Worth it, especially now, because Xbox is coming, I guess it's got another year or so, perhaps, of releases. But
it depends if they kill it dead like the last one.
Is that what happened? Completely dead.
Well, remember when 360 came out pretty soon after that? They just plain stopped publishing games for Xbox One.
Oh, okay, right.
And then once it went away, you couldn't... Microsoft didn't support it. Microsoft pretended like it never existed. So all those units were completely gone out of the shops. You couldn't buy it. You couldn't. It was like secondhand stores or nothing.
Yeah.
And Microsoft kind of put their hands over their ears and went, la, 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 360.
Oh, that's good on them. Good on them. I just call that PlayStation we're still making bloody games or releasing games. And it was 6 years down the track. They were still coming out.
And then it's your PS2 games, yeah.
You can still get PS2 games in the
I was like, what? What? It's not like they re-released something. It was just like they actually made another game for the PS2.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, okay, cool. All right, so I've been playing Stalker, Deus Ex, Black Mesa, World of Warcraft, but I've run out of time. Running out of time. I'll talk about that next time. That's cool. But if
Very quickly, what do you think of Deus Ex?
Deus Ex, good. Yeah, not bad. I don't remember anything about the storyline, but I do remember playing through the game, and I did not do any stealthing.
Oh, you're playing the original?
No. Human Revolution.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I just just put my guns on. I just went in there blazing, pretty much. I did
Very
not hold
nice.
back. I did not hold back. It was one of those games where I'm in a similar situation to Skyrim. It was like, I need to move on. I love this. It's fun, but I need to move on. So I haven't got time to do the sneaking around. Yeah, I'll hack some things here and there and turn the turrets on or whatever. But I'm just going to take this. I'm going to take this, and you're going down. So that's pretty much what I did for that. I thought the parts that I did stealth through was great. It was like a sort of your first person type of Metal Gear Solid, that type of thing, that type of deal. And certainly you do have all these options to upgrade all these different things. So you can choose to be, a bit more of a run and gun type of guy. You can choose some stealth options, or you can focus heavily on hacking, which is good. And I did put some points in there because I did want to use the old, turn security cameras off. But more importantly than that, get the robots on, turn them on their makers, and just watch turrets take people down. And it's ridiculous. You just see the experience go up. And I was like, I didn't do anything. I'm just hiding behind this box. Brilliant. Let me eat this. Let me eat this robo food that I've got, whatever it is.
This candy bar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's candy bar. But overall, the amount of money that I spent on it, like $7, $6, something like that on a Steam sale, certainly worth it. And especially I reckon if you're a Metal Gear Solid fan and you want to mix that with a bit of the FPS, and you'd want to do without the old Raiden and whoever his girlfriend was storyline on the side there in Metal Gear Solid 2, you definitely want to play this. And good music too. I loved it.
Yes.
The music, I really
music's
did.
really good.
Yeah, that's one thing. Walking away from that, I want to get that somehow, get a soundtrack going, because that I don't even know who made that music, but it's just really enjoyed it, and it's the type of thing which I could just listen to, not even be playing a game. Does that sound weird? Don't judge me.
Game soundtracks are the best.
Black Mesa. If you haven't played Half-Life 1, play this. It's like somebody completely redid Half-Life. You don't even need to buy Half-Life 1. I don't even think you need to have a Half-Life 2. You just need to have Steam and download the SDK. That's it. You get to play this. And it's like totally redone, and
It's in the Half-Life 2 engine, or is it something better?
I think it is the Half-Life 2 engine, or the Episode 1 or Episode 2, whatever they did to that. But it just looks brilliant. It looks great. It's like, at first I was like, I don't really... Half-Life 1 was good and all, but geez. But playing through this, and just with all the... I don't know if they I'm sure they did. They redid sound effects and atmospheric sounds and all that sort of thing, because it's so much more intense and scary. Which I do remember playing Half-Life 1 in the dark back in the university days. But playing through this, it was... My wife would come in and she'd tap me on the shoulder. Oh my goodness. Heart attacks. But really well done to those guys that put in the effort to make this thing. I guess they're making it as a type of resume for them, looking for jobs and so on, because damn if they don't get any from that, because it's just such a good effort. The bugs, I think, were very minimal, and the ones that I did have just, really it wasn't an issue, considering I paid nothing for this, and it's free. And you can download the soundtrack, I think, that they have for free and all that. So definitely, I reckon even just to try it out, just to have a look, you'll be sucked in for sure, especially if you like the first one. And I think it'd be the best way to check it out, rather than getting the old school 1999 Half-Life 1 and going through that. You definitely want to do yourself a favor and do this. Check this out.
Cool.
Yes, cool. I'll talk about Stalker next time, because I have to run. That's cool. Thanks, Richie, Haven, Ai-Phuong.
Thanks for having me
here.
Thanks, Dan.
And we will talk to y'all soon, and have another podcast soon-ish. 2 weeks, about 2 weeks. And maybe an RPG next week, maybe. If Ai-Phuong is good to go, and Haven is good to go. And yes, all right, cool. Okay, see you later, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.